जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी। गोपीजन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare जय श्री श्री राधा कुंज बिहारी की, श्री श्री गौर निताय की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, समावेत गौर भक्त वृंद की, कलियुग पावन हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदी। ओम अज्ञान तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेष्व भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। Welcome all of you. Shloka is not coming. I'll make it a little bigger. This morning we are reading from the 7th canto, 15th chapter, text number 32. Pranapanau sannirundyat purakumbhakare chakaihi yavan manastyajet kaman swanasagra nirikshanaha yato yato nissarati manah kamahatam brahmat ततस्तत उपाहृत्य हृदिरुन्द्याक्षणैर्बुधः. Let's make it little. प्राणापानौ सन्निरुन्द्यात् पूरकुम्भकरे चकैः यावन्मनस्त्यजेत् कामान् स्वनासाग्र निरीक्षणः यतो यतो निःसरति मनः कामहतं भ्रमत् ततस्तत उपाहृत्य हृदिरुन्द्यात् शनैर्बुधः. All Prabhuji together. प्राणापानौ सन्निरुन्द्यात् पुरकुम्भकरे चकैः यावन्मनस्त्यजेत् कामान् स्वनासाग्र निरीक्षणः यतो यतो निःसरति मनस्कामहतं भ्रमत् ततस्तत उपाहृत्य हृदिरुन्द्यात् शनैर्बुधः. माताजी, prana, incoming breath. Apana, outgoing breath. Sannirundyat, should stop. Pura kumbhakare chakaihi, by inhaling, exhaling and holding, which are technically known as Puraka, Kumbhaka and Rechaka. Yavat, so long. Manaha, the mind. Tyajet, should give up. Kaman, all material desires. Swa, one's own. Nasa agra, the tip of the nose. Nirikshanaha, looking at. Yataha, yataha, from whatever and wherever. Nissarati, withdraws. Manaha, the mind. Kamahatam, being defeated by lusty desires. Brahmat, wandering. Tataha, tataha, from here and there. Upahritya, after bringing it back. Hridi, within the core of the heart. Rundhyat, should arrest the mind. Shanaihi, gradually by practice. Buddhaha, a learned yogi.
Hare Krishna. While continuously staring at the tip of the nose, a learned yogi practices the breathing exercises through the technical means known as Puraka, Kumbhaka and Rechaka, controlling inhalation and exhalation and then stopping them both. In this way, the yogi restricts his mind from material attachments and gives up all material mental desires. As soon as the mind, being defeated by lusty desires, drifts towards feelings of sense gratification, the yogi should immediately bring it back and arrest it within the core of his heart. Should I read? Purport?
Purport? Yeah.
The practice of yoga is concisely explained herein. When this practice of yoga is perfect, one sees the super soul, the Paramatma, feature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, within the core of one's heart. However, in Bhagavad Gita 6.47, the Supreme Lord says, Yoginam api sarvesham mat gate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yoma samayukta tamo mataha. Of all yogis, he who always abides in me with great faith, worshipping me in transcendental loving service, is most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. A devotee can immediately become a perfect yogi because he practices keeping Krishna constantly within the core of his heart. This is another way to practice yoga easily. The Lord says, Manmana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Bhagavad Gita 18.65. If one practices devotional service by always keeping Krishna within the core of his heart, Manmanaha, he immediately becomes a first-class yogi. Furthermore, keeping Krishna within the mind is not a difficult task for the devotee. For an ordinary man in the bodily concept of life, the practice of yoga must be helpful, but one who immediately takes to devotional service can immediately become a perfect yogi without difficulty.
So for ordinary man in bodily concept of life, the practice of yoga may be helpful. But one who immediately takes to devotional service, for him, immediately he becomes perfect yogi without difficulty. Srila Prabhupada ki. So here, as you see, this is Ashtanga Yoga description going on in this chapter. This is the important subject, the Bhagavad Gita, 6th chapter also. Very similar verse, isn't it? Yato yato nischalati manaschanchala astiram tatastato niyamyaitat atmani eva pasham nayet. As and when the mind wanders here and there, pull it back. See, many times devotees may say, what can I do? My mind didn't listen to me. Mind flew away. But imagine if a mother is having a baby in the train, she is very attentive not to let the child go away from her lap, especially near the door. Otherwise, door is open, the child will fall off. It's very dangerous, risky, isn't it? Imagine if a child goes away from her lap 100 times, what the mother will do? 100 times she will get it back. Will she give any excuse? Oh, I got tired after 40 times. Now I will leave the child. And she doesn't leave. So, in the path of yoga, we are not condemned because we are getting distracted. What is admonished is, we don't make an effort to bring it back. Shri Shri Radha Kunj Bihari ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki. So, this verse talks about the nature of the mind, how it is flickering, restless. Like if you keep a lamp in a windy place, the flame is going to shake. Sometimes if the wind is too much, it just blows off. So the disturbed mind is compared to a wind, so to a lamp kept in a windy place. Like outside you keep a lamp. Sometimes during Kartik month, you have some lamps inside, some lamps outside. Outside lamps get blown off due to the wind, isn't it? But the lamp kept inside, it is protected. So therefore he says, Yata Deepo Nivatasto Nengate Sopama Smrita Yogino Yutayan Yati Yunjasya Yunjato Yogamatmanaha. As a lamp kept in a place free from wind, windless place, you keep it. The flame doesn't shake at all. It remains steady. So that example that Krishna gives. Or if you have a lamp, a hurricane lamp, it's a protective glass is there. So the flame remains steady. Similarly, all of us, if you really want to become spiritualists, who is a spiritualist? You can be a Bhakta Yogi or Ashtanga Yogi or Jnana Yogi. All the spiritualists, everybody should be making a special effort to discipline their life in such a way that we can keep our spiritual progress intact without getting influenced by the external stimuli, external influences. Just like when you are going in a train, you may buy a Bisleri bottle and drink water because you know that if you drink under some tap, you may get infected. If you get infected, you may have to go to doctor and spend 2,000 rupees. It's better to spend 20 rupees instead of 2,000 rupees. Buy a sealed bottle of water and drink it. Correct, no? Even many people do that nowadays. They are cautious about the health. And they don't buy anything and everything and eat in the train also. Correct? Because you know what kind of oil they are putting, how old stuff it is, you don't know. So there are many people nowadays I see they are cautious not to buy and eat anything. Just as you are very cautious about eating or drinking while going in a train, in the same manner, a spiritualist is cautious about not letting anything that will putrefy the mind, that will contaminate the mind. Like for example, you are walking in the road on a rainy day, and the road is filled with muddy pool of water, and a car is going in a pit, there's a lot of water. When car goes fastly, what happens? The water will splash. Then it's going to come on your dress. So you're a little alert not to let your dress get spoiled, correct, no? So just as you are attentive not to make your dress muddy, similarly we have to be attentive not to let our mind become muddy also. So that is why one has to study about what makes the mind impure, then how to preserve the purity of the mind, and in case impurities have entered into mind, how to remove them, and how to keep the mind fit for serving the Lord. So those things will be discussed in this. You see, mind is compared to a wild horse. Why it is compared to a wild horse? Prabhupada said, feeding a wild horse a medicine, if a horse is sick, it is making a lot of trouble. No? It is making sound. So how do you make the horse get all right? He has to take medicine, but he's not ready to take medicine. So you need 6 people for that. 4 people to catch the 4 legs, 1 person to open the mouth, and the last person to put the medicine. Prabhupada said so. So feeding Krishna consciousness to very new people is like that, he said. Those who are refusing to take Krishna consciousness. So mind is like a wild horse. Mind is troubled, mind is sickly, but refusing to accept the medicine of the chanting of the holy name. Holy name doesn't stick on to the mind. Mind is not ready to chant the mantra. When you chant, immediately it rejects it. The wild horse or a restless monkey, he says. Monkey is very hyperactive, hopping and jumping from one tree to another. It steals the bananas. It takes away the spectacles. It frightens the children. So when you see the nature of the monkey, it's very similar to the mind, who is extremely restless, hopping and jumping, doesn't. Nowadays, we are living in an age of innumerable choices. I see sometimes students, when they sit with the TV, within 1 minute they change 10 channels, hopping and jumping from one channel to another channel. What is going on here? What is going on there? They keep wanting to search. So their minds are like monkeys who is jumping and back and forth. In everything you have choice now. If you have to buy just one hot pot, you go to the internet, your 1 hour will be gone. Because there are so many varieties. Big one, small one, flat one, stainless steel one, plastic one. And what about the cost? What about this cost? It's too much variety. So the more the variety you are going to approach, the more the mind becomes restless and trying to find out the cheap and best variety. Correct? No? So then mind becomes like a restless monkey, saying like a raging storm. That is the example Arjuna gave. Vayori was sudushkaram, he said. When a storm comes, it just carries away. In New Orleans, we heard when the Katrina, Rita, the storms came, they even lifted the car also. Nobody could stand in the street. It was knocking down the people. So my mind is such a raging storm that sometimes, no matter, even if you know what is right, the mind doesn't let you do it. It just catches you by the neck and drags you in the wrong direction. So somebody was asking me, if that is so, then how can I be blamed? If my mind is just catching me by the neck and engaging me in a wrong activity, you should blame my mind, not me. No. Actually, we have fed the mind such impurities for a long time. Therefore, we have become slaves of our mind. Just like here in our kitchen, in those days there were small rats. They were not taken care. So the rats became later on goose, they call it. Goose? Goose means very big, this much long and this much fat. The goose are so big, and they run, the cat runs far away. Cat is afraid of the rat. Actually, cat is supposed to eat the rats. But the cat is afraid, because cat is small, goose is big. So in the same manner, if our mind is tenacious and has made us a slave, that is because we have only allowed the mind to become like that. It is like putting a rope around your neck and going on pulling the rope. When you pull it, you get it tight. Then you realize, my Lord, what is this? My neck is getting tight. So who put around the neck? So therefore, we cannot blame anybody for this. Just like sometimes you bite your tongue with your teeth. Any of you experience of this? So are you going to take a hammer and break your tooth? No. It's your own teeth has bit your own tongue. That's why he says, Baddha swakarma birushattamate moolam pritopavarga sharanam vaise kadana. What is that verse? Trastosmyaham kripnavatsala dussahogra samsara chakra kadanat grasatam pranita Baddha swakarma birushattamate moolam pritopavarga sharanam vaise kadana. Third line, Prahlad is saying, Baddha, I have become bound in this world. How? Swakarma bhir, by my own actions. So I cannot blame the Lord, but I am desiring that let me become free from this bondage and Baddha swakarma bhir, ushattamate angri moolam, let me attain shelter of your lotus feet, he is saying. So our actions are compared to a silkworm which is emanating some kind of viscous liquid out of its mouth. When it emanates, it gradually covers over its body. It is thinking it's very soft and very cozy. But after some time, that same soft substance around his body becomes very hard, like stone. Now the silkworm realizes, my Lord, how will I come out of it now? He is now trapped. But he got trapped in that soft substance which came from his own mouth only. So similarly, our own actions bind us. That is the example given in Bhagavatam. So we have to at least take note of this, that I will not act in such a way that I will get more and more entrapped in this world. And I'll become slave of my mind and senses. Imagine if somebody takes a kuladi, axe, and will he hit his own feet? He's supposed to cut a tree for firewood, one should not take kulad and hit one's own feet. So, what is the meaning of what I am saying? There are many people putting so many substances into the body, like cigar or liquor or drugs and things like that. So, they are actually damaging their own equipment. Imagine in a car, you are supposed to put petrol or diesel. Imagine somebody put sand inside the petrol tank. How much you will have to repair it later on? It's like that, putting that in substance into the body. So, Baddha Swakarma Birushattamati Kolam. We are the one to be blamed. We can't blame anybody else. So, becoming slave means what? Like, for example, I want to come for the Mangalatiri temple, but my mind is telling 5 more minutes, let me take rest. And then it becomes 3 more hours to sleep. That means I have become a slave of mind. Correct now? Yeah. Similarly, while eating, you know that what is healthy eating, everybody knows. And some unhealthy junk food is kept, but still your tongue is craving for it. You take it and eat it and you suffer. That means I am a slave of the tongue. In this way, go das, go swami. So we have to begin with senses. If I am a godas of one of the senses, then gradually I have to rise above and become a master of the senses by taking the Krishna consciousness. So our mind is like a drunk servant. Imagine your driver is drunken and you're telling him, hey driver, take me to temple, and he takes you to liquor shop. That means the driver is not in whose control? Not in your control. So our mind has that type of behavior. It's not in our control. Many times the mind goes, where we should not be going. Like that, that's why these examples are given. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong. Oh Krishna, like that Arjuna is telling. So, how to heal the scattered mind from mechanical suppression to loving absorption? That is the main topic today. So, mechanically, we can suppress the mind for some time. It is like catching a tiger or a lion and put a rope around their neck and tie it to a pole. Now you may say, I captured the animal, now it's tied up, now it cannot run away. But is the animal peaceful? No. The animal is just waiting for a moment. When you are slightly asleep, it will pull the rope and slap on your face and run into the jungle. That's the example Rishabhadev gives. So, na he says, na karichit kuryat sakhyam. He says, never make friends with the mind. The mind is a cheater. The mind is like the wild animal. Anytime it will run on the wrong path, because as long as it is impure, he says that. So therefore, suppressing the mind is not the solution. You can suppress and keep it like that for a while. The real battlefield is the mind, you see. The greatest struggle is not with people or circumstances or lack of facilities. It is where the mind goes. Actually, sometimes we think somebody is troubling me, some people, or sometimes the situation is not as I expected, you may say. But here it is said that, or somebody thinks that if I have this, if I have that, it will be better. But nobody around us can be blamed. If the mind goes to certain things and then contemplates on them and gets absorbed in them, attracted to them, attached to them, gets stuck in them, that is where the problem comes. Just like, imagine if a monkey is sitting on the branch of a tree, the curious monkey is jumping from one branch to another and keeps looking at different things. One day he saw a tar tin, a barrel which was half filled with liquid tar. You know tar? Yeah. So morning time and monkey got up, he watched, hey, what is this? Is it some juice kept? Is it for drinking? He thought. What is the black color juice? He didn't know that. So he stood on the rim of this thing and he was curious, let me see what it is. And he put his hand and picked up, the hand got stuck. Then he wanted to take this hand by putting the other hand, that also got stuck. Then one leg got stuck, other leg got stuck. So all the 2 legs and 2 hands got stuck in the tar. Then he was jumping up and down, belly also got stuck. He just couldn't move. This is how people get entangled in Maya. In the beginning, they slightly give a try. They try to connect with Maya, then the connection increases over a period of time. They connect more and more, and they get completely stuck. So we cannot blame the people. Like one time, somebody was telling that 15, 20 devotees lost a lot of money due to somebody inspired them to join this, what do you call it, network marketing, huh? Is it? Network marketing. Somebody lost 5 lakhs, somebody lost 10 lakhs. And these devotees could not go to court or blame anybody also because they trusted and gave money. Correct now? Somebody is telling you, I'll give you 30% interest for your money. So people think, oh, instead of getting 6% or 8%, this person is giving 30%. Why not give a try? Then they put 5 lakh, 10 lakh, and they'll lose everything. Now they don't even want to talk about it to anybody because they only put trust in a wrong place. Correct now? That is why we cannot blame the people if we have greed. The greed has to be blamed. Correct now? We cannot blame the people. So similarly, the people, the circumstances, lack of facilities, we can't blame all this. You see, the Shastras repeatedly say this point. A person may sit in the forest, cave or temple. But if the mind is uncontrolled, the material life will continue. Another may be externally busy. But if the mind is fixed, he is liberated. That means, simply sitting in a forest or a cave, in a lonely place, in a secluded place, doesn't make your mind calm. It is a misconception to think that if I go to a secluded place, serene place, my mind will also become calm. No. What is inside the mind is very important. Let me tell you a story. There was one king called Kaushik. So he thought that being a king is a very stress-producing responsibility. And he thought that, my son has grown up. Let me hand over responsibility to him. Let me go to forest and take sannyas. Look at these monks. They wear saffron dress and they're cheerful, singing, dancing very happily. They live always peaceful and they are cheerful. So he also developed a desire that if I become a monk like them, I will also become happy. So with that idea, he donned that saffron dress and went to the forest, to the Tapovanam. In the Tapovanam, he saw there was a holy river flowing there. There were many fruit-bearing trees and many hermitages, and there was Vedic mantras for being chanted there. The sages were all sitting and studying the Shastras, and he saw such a beautiful setting. So he also made one cottage there, and he was staying there. 6 months he stayed, but his mind was extremely restless. One day, one old rishi was passing by near the bank of the river. So this king, who was a monk, he stopped the rishi and said, "Sir, I have also accepted dress like you, like all of you fellows here. But while others are so peaceful and cheerful, I am so miserable and morose. I don't know what is the reason for this. What stops me from being happy? I am feeling very lonely. I am feeling very morose and miserable," like that he said. So the rishi knew who he was. He knew that he was a king, but now he has become a monk. So the rishi pretended as if he didn't know. He asked him, "So you seem to be a new monk in this locality. Who are you?" He asked him. As soon as he asked the question, "Who are you?" This fellow started describing about his kingship. "You don't know who I am? I am Kaushik. I had so many vast lands. I had so many elephants, so many horses, so many queens, so many sons and daughters. My kingdom started from here and expanded up to this. And then what all achievements I did in my life as a king." Half an hour he spoke, and he spoke so loudly he himself got tired. And the rishi said, "Please sit down and drink a glass of water, relax." After that, the rishi told him, "This is why you are not peaceful," he said. "Because you have come to the forest, but your identity is still that you are thinking you are a king. So similarly, if an engineering student sometimes shaves up and becomes a brahmachari in the ashram, many people make big hue and cry. How is it that you guys have shaved up a boy? He's educated boy. He has joined the temple. You should hand him over back to parents and everything. Sometimes parents come, you tell them, here is your son, take him with you. If he wants to come, take him. He also want to do a job, let him do a job. If he wants to marry, let him marry. We don't stop anybody. We are just ashram, we give some training here. Because artificially you cannot keep somebody like a monk, unless his heart is really here. So we have already sent many people like that back, but those fellows who are here, by voluntarily they have chosen to be here. So the Rishi told him that you have physically brought your body here, but your mind is still sitting in the throne. You are still thinking you are the king. So the king understood his mistake. Then he asked the Rishi, then what am I supposed to do? King said, your first identity and your purpose, these two are very important. In identity and purpose. Your real identity is Jiva Sarupa Hoy, Krishna Nityadas. That's your real identity. First, you are a servant of God. And then all other roles come into picture. Like for example, your role as a child, then your role as a boy, your role as a man or a woman, your role as a husband or a wife, your role as a mother or father, your role as a professional in a company. These are all secondary. These are only roles which keep changing always. So you had a role as a child. Is it still there now? The child role is finished. Then you had a role of a boy, little child, boy or a girl. That role is finished. Then when you get married, then your role as a student is finished in the college. When you become a professional in a company, you are no more a student in the college. So these are all changing roles. They are here today, they'll be gone tomorrow. So one should not be affected by this. See, if you take a river, like you see this Chandrabhaga, in Chandrabhaga there are some rocks you will see. And the Chandrabhaga sometimes, while flowing, the water will be very deep. Sometimes the water is very shallow. You will see that. Sometimes there will be no water also. It will be dry also. But there is one thing that is permanent in Chandrabhaga. What is it? Which one? The rocks. The rocks will always be there. And they are fixed in one place. They will not change. So there is something that doesn't change and something that changes. So the Rishi told him, this is the point. Your unchanging thing is you are the spirit soul, not the body. Secondly, you are Krishnadas. You are servant of Lord. That is your fixed identity. That will never change. Somebody may say, what about I am also servant of my mother? No. In this life, you are a servant of mother. After that, you go to another family. You will not be servant of this mother, father. Or you may say, I am working for such and such company. Yes, you are working. But you will leave this company and go to another company. You have no more connection to the boss. So these are all changing roles. So don't attach importance to changing roles. Unchanging, fixed identity is your Krishnadas. Secondly, the purpose. What is the purpose of the soul? See, the purpose of the soul is to become free. One time, His Holiness Satyananda Maharaj told a story. He returned to his apartment where he was staying on one place when he was doing a retreat. It was a big house with about 10, 12 rooms were there. So when Maharaj opened the house, he said, I saw one small sparrow which was sitting on the wall in the front room. And Maharaj thought, oh, how did the sparrow come in? By locking the house, I don't know how it came in. He wanted the sparrow to fly away. So he opened the window. But instead of going through the window out, the bird went inside. Then Maharaj also went to the inside room and opened one more window there. Then it went into another room. Actually, this foolish bird did not know that Maharaj is giving me a free pathway to go out and enjoy in the garden. Instead, he is going deeper and deeper in the house into room, one room, second room, third room. Maharaj said, I didn't know how to tell this bird I am trying to do good for him. I am trying to do good for him, but he is afraid of me, and that bird is becoming more and more entangled inside the house. You understand? No? Similarly, this foolish jiva in this world If Vaishnavas go and give a book or prasad and tell, please come to temple, take your chanting, they doubt everybody, including the devotees. They don't want to become serious, correct? No? They don't take. So one should accept the methods of managing the mind and uplifting oneself seriously. So our purpose is very, very simple. The nature of the soul is to be with God. Now we have turned away from God, so we have to go back to God. That is the purpose. Go back home, back to God. So, therefore, if this identity and purpose is rigidly fixed, then we will never be shaken up. Say, one time in Kanyakumari, and they made an announcement in the morning time for all the fishermen. Today evening, there is going to be a heavy storm in Kanyakumari coming from the ocean. All of you be attentive. Nobody should go to the seashore. It's dangerous. So they made an announcement. So immediately, intelligent fishermen, what they did, the first thing they did was they went to the shore and anchored their boats very tightly. And the other lazy fishermen, they thought, we will take care, storm may come or may not come. They were not sure. Sometimes they make announcement, doesn't come. So they're careless. But in this night time, after 7 o'clock, when the actual storm came, when they were trying to go to the seashore to tie up the boats, by the time already boats were swept away by the storm. And they were broken to pieces. They all got drowned in the water. So they lost the boats, unnecessarily lost big money. So similarly, our mind is like a boat. When announcement is given in the Shastra that the storm will come in your life time to time, life is a combination of calm and storm. Sometimes life is calm, sometimes there is storm. So when before the storm comes, one should tie the mind to the anchor of Krishna's lotus feet. Then mind will be safe. Bhavoddhava klesha shata indriya paribramana kapatantare niyamyatam madhava me manohyaha twadangrishankau ridabhakti bandhane. You know what he's saying in this prayer? Bhava udbhava klesha. In the bhava means samsar. In this samsar, udbhava klesh. Trivida tap. Adhyatmika, adhibhautika, adhidevika. Three type of kleshas. Miseries from body and mind, miseries from other living beings, miseries from natural calamities. So when they come, shata hata is saying, hundreds of whips are put on the horse of my mind, is saying. Like that. Mind is being whipped by various miseries like stress, tension, anger, hatred, envy, jealousy, all these things. They all are whipping the mind. Modern day man or woman, you can easily see in the street some people walking and weeping. When I'm going in the car, sometimes I see some girl or they're crying and talking on phone. Somebody, how many of you have seen people walking fastly, talking on phone? You've seen that? Many you get to see. Because their minds are being whipped by this kind of, anxieties. Shata hata hata. Indriya paribramana kapatantara is saying. When the mind horse is running in the road of sense gratification. Actually, when the horse is running in the road of Krishna consciousness, it is very blissfully situated. When it is running in the road of sense gratification, it gets whipped. Sense gratification directly leads to misery. He's saying, my dear Lord, capture my mind horse. You are called as Manohar. Manohar means you attract my mind, capture this horse and tie it to your Twadangrishankau Tridabhakti Bandhane. Tie my mind horse to your lotus feet, he is saying. So in this way, then only can liberate it. You see? The real battlefield is never on the outside. It is inside. That's why I told you, a person may be sitting in a forest, but if a mind is uncontrolled, material life continues, you see. So our struggle is not with people or circumstances and all these things. Where the mind goes, what the mind is meditating, what the mind is desiring, these things become all important. Energy flows where intent goes, we say, no? If our intent is going in some direction, there we invest our energy. So you will see a person externally, it's difficult to say what is happening to a person because internally a person is letting the mind wander in some direction. And then he is going to eventually invest his energy, time, sweat, blood, everything, the direction. That's why the mind, before it chooses, mind has to be fed with the right choices. See, this is the modern day assault, isn't it? Yeah. There are so many things, sensual imagery, comparison culture, many things, social media. Yeah. See, if you tell people, they can watch a screen for hours and hours, isn't it? But you tell them to sit in one place down and chant one round, they won't. Correct, no? Prabhupada says in America, there are many boys and girls come to sit in yoga. 10 minutes they cannot sit continuously. They get restless. They have to go for a cigarette break or something, like that. So mind has become addicted to external stimulation. You see? See, people can stare at a screen for hours, but cannot chant it till for 10 minutes. Because they have become addicted to distraction. That means they have got habituated to distraction. So anything you cultivate in the mind, that becomes a habit. That means they are trained to become distracted. Very good training in distraction. Instead of training to become focused, they are trained to become distracted. That means keep on hopping and jumping from one channel to another, one activity to another. You cannot do one activity in a fixed manner. Even when people open the computer, you are typing an article or something, suddenly some pop-up comes, immediately go to that. Suddenly some updates comes, immediately jump to that. Suddenly some phone call comes, you attend to the phone call. So because of that, no work is properly done. All work is done in a haphazard manner. This is a tug of war for consciousness. See, on the left side you see the attention economy, Kali Yuga, you see. Constant stimulation, endless scrolling, sensual imagery, comparison culture. Today morning I was telling in Japa talk, you can easily remember all these things in three ways. There is a comparison trap, there is an entertainment trap, and there is an ambition trap. So you remember three examples. The entertainment trap is Bharat Maharaj. He wanted to entertain himself with whom? The deer. So he ended up becoming a deer. Correct? No? See, he became a little careless in his sadhana. Similarly, people may be chanting with the bead bag, but for entertainment, they may have a smartphone. So for them, the smartphone is a deer. Everybody's deer is different, isn't it? So somebody is doing binge watching, somebody is doing gaming, somebody cannot stop receiving messages. So this is entertainment trap. And and another trap is comparison trap. That is the friends, especially peers. People keep comparing with peers and how many likes they got and what he or she is doing. I have to outsmart them. I have to do better than them. That leads to greed and unhealthy comparison, low self-esteem, and acidic relationships with peers. And another one is the ambition. It's like aeroplane. Daydreaming, ambition, big ambitions. Everybody wants to become rich and more rich, more richer, and the chase after the mirage of Maya. So these three are the things that occupy the mind of conditioned souls in this day and age. You can see that entertainment trap, comparison trap, ambition trap. So the entertainment trap means smartphone. Yeah. And comparison trap means, validation by society, how much CGPA you got and which company you are working, how much salary you are making, how big car you have, how big house you have, what type of dress you wear. So this leads to comparison. And the ambition becomes over ambition, greed. So all this is pulling the mind. On the other side, you see the spiritual pull. See the kirtan, hearing the Bhagavatam, deity worship. We can also add many things. Eating prasad, isn't going out on book distribution, isn't it? And Harinam Sankirtan. Many things can be added on the right side. So one beauty of our movement is it's a very colorful movement. Our movement is a very colorful movement. Everything is colorful. Prasadam is colorful. Deity worship is colorful. Kirtan is colorful. study and discussion of philosophy is colorful. Yatra is colorful. So I was thinking once, if at all there is one movement which can be a very good combat for Maya, that is ISKCON. Yeah? Because otherwise the impersonalistic and Buddhist organizations are very pale and stale and dry. They don't have any kind of power to counteract the Maya's colorful offerings. Actually, Maya also offers colorful offerings, but it is cheating offering. It is happiness in view, out of experience. Like sometimes when you are going on the road, in showcase they have kept some things. You've seen that? That is only for showcase. And that's not for your enjoying. You can only see it because glass is there. You cannot enjoy that. So sometimes they keep the same ice cream or cake for 6 months also, just for showing only. You can't eat it. If you eat, you will get sick. So it is only a showcase. Maya is like that. You consume Maya, you are finished. But for seeing, it's very attractive. Whereas the offerings of ISKCON, Krishna's movement, that is real. So God, the very first thought, you see, the mind rarely falls all at once. The descent from passing thought to material entanglement is a predictable, gradual, downward spiral. You see, that small contemplation is the seed. These are the stepping stones to fall, you see. First is small contemplation, then attraction, then attachment, then obsession, then action. See in the brackets what's given. Small contemplation is a seed thought that starts. Attraction means you are pulled a little more. You are, how many of you have observed attraction is entering into your mind for something? You have observed it? You can observe, yeah. That's the second stage. Third is attachment means grip has come. How? That means what is the difference between attraction and attachment? Attraction means only pull. Attachment means you are already caught. It's very difficult to withdraw at the stage of attachment. Still possible, not impossible, but fourth stage is obsession, blindness, kamanda, you say, no? Dhananda, madanda. One becomes blind. Blind means even if somebody gives him upadesh, he will pay deaf ears. He will not listen. That means he has become obsessed with it. I've seen boys sometimes get into a wrong track. You try to get them back, they will not trust you, they will not come because they have become obsessed with it. It's like Vinashakale, Viparita Buddhi. Like Ravana could not be preached by Vibhishan. Karna could not be preached by Krishna because they were obsessed in the direction or wrong direction. Finally, they do the action and they fall down, you see. But in the first three stages, it is a recoverable stage. One can be recovered. If somebody is contemplating the early stage, seed stage, you can crush the seed immediately, kill the thoughts before they become grown up. And that is possible by immediately substituting vitarka bhadane pratipaksha bhavanam. Like that our Patanjali says. You counteract sinful thoughts by pure thoughts. For example, you are attracted to some cinema actor or actress before. You replace those fellows by substitute them by Radha Kunjavihari, Radha Vrindavan Chandra. You keep, if anybody was keeping a photo of some actor, actress, throw that away and keep Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Radha Kunjavihari photo, correct, no? That's the meaning of vitarka bhadane pratipaksha bhavanam, correct, no? Yeah, nowadays many videos are coming, very beautiful AI videos are coming and pictures are also there. So we have so much nice food for spiritual absorption. Yeah. So, and similarly, when the pull comes attraction, then you have to pull in the other side. Correct? In a tug of war, if one is pulling this side, then you pull this side. Prabhupada says, Maya is pulling this side, then Krishna should pull this side. So how do we give that Krishna pull? By chanting more rounds. That's why Ekadashi days we chant more. When we chant more rounds, then Maya becomes weak. The mind actually finds it difficult to put you in Maya's direction. When one chants more, hears more, reads more, serves more, like that. One should be able to observe it. If attachment has come and the grip has come, then one is helpless. Like imagine you are going in a road and you are carrying a suitcase of money. Suddenly a couple of thieves attack you. From both sides, they want to steal away your suitcase. Immediately what you should do? Police! You call like that. Immediately police, they take the lathi and come running. Immediately as the group of policemen come, what will the thieves do? They will run away from there. They will flee from there. Similarly, who is our police? Our acharyas. Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaura Krishna Babaji. So call the acharyas when you already got that attachment has come, the grip has come. My Lord, I am going to be finished now. That time one should immediately call out the acharyas, sing the Vaishnava songs, and stay surrounded by devotees. One boy was telling he was planning to leave Krishna consciousness due to some frustration and failure in the examination. So when he came to the temple in the morning, he thought, one last time I'll take prasad and then I will leave. He was thinking, one big plate of prasad I will take and leave. But when he came to temple, Guru Puja was going on. All devotees pulled him into Guru Puja, and when he danced with devotees, all his frustration got evaporated. He became so jolly, he felt, oh, how mind is so flickering. In one moment, mind is frustrated, next moment it can be very blissful. So then he decided that I will stay with devotees and not listen to the foolish mind. So therefore, the wrong attachments, the grip can also be cut. It's possible. If you, sometimes you see a wrong type of knot has come. What do? You need a blade to cut it. Correct now? Yeah. I saw here only in the kitchen when I was in Gujaberry days, one small kitten came into the kitchen. I was just observing from a distance. This kitten, when it was trying to pull something, one jute ball fell down. You know jute ball? The jute thread. This much size, it fell from the top to bottom. It fell on the kitten. And the kitten became shocked. And then it started meddling with that jute ball. So because of that, the jute came all over his body. That ball, the ball of jute came on. He was trying to escape. The more it was escaping, it got completely entangled. That is what happens with Maya. One is curious to Maya. What is this? You just touch, and then you get entangled all over. Like that. So when that attachment, this started screaming, meow, 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 making sound. Immediately the big cat came. Hey, what is this fellow doing? He got entangled. Just pulled that kitten out of that, jute, and she dragged him and took him away. So similarly, one has to loudly chant the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna. Call Krishna, call the acharyas, call other devotees, surround yourself with devotees, put yourself in a very strong spiritual atmosphere. Quit the situation where your mind became weak. Quit that situation and put yourself in a situation where your mind is still weak, but you are surrounded by strong minds. Strong-willed people all around you. They will protect you. They will make sure that, how many of you have seen that this Sudama Prabhu used to show? I may have it, let me see. One small portion I'll show you. If you see this, you'll be amazed. See this, what is it? Is it, see one small, mountain lion, snow leopard, leopard. See, he's trying to chase little away. You're able to see? A sound is not coming. when the baby bear became helpless, because the wooden log was bringing it closer to the leopard. He thought, I am gone now. And he got a slap also, correct, no? He's got a slap on the face. The cheetah was the lion was preparing to eat him up. Then when he called out the mother, then the mother came, then you saw what happened, isn't it? So in this way, in the stage of attachment, one has to develop that humility and desperation, without which nobody escapes Maya. See, the mechanical attempt to silence the storm is not very useful. The classical Ashtanga Yoga process relies on strict physical restraint, fixing the eyes, withdrawing the wandering mind, restraining all desires, controlling the breathing. How much can people in the city do this? You see, the deep connection, there is a connection between the breath and the thought. If somebody is agitated by desires in the mind, immediately you do the pranayama. That instantly calms the mind. It's true, when breathing becomes disturbed by fear or anger, when fear comes, the people breathe very fast. In anger also people breathe very fast. The mind scatters. But when breathing is calm, the mind follows. So yogis used to do this method. There is a connection. But mechanically controlling breathing, posture, senses, diet, this is not helpful in the long run. For a short term help one may get. Heart may be still lingering in desire for sense enjoyment, you see. A person may sit silently externally while internally planning for material enjoyment. Possible or not? Mere suppression is insufficient without higher taste, you see. Yeah. So it's not enough to just externally sit down. The heart cannot be vacant. Removing material desires without spiritual attachment ensures the desires will return. Just like the root you are seeing. Somebody has trimmed the plant above, correct, no? Again it will grow. Because it's not uprooted. On the other hand, you see, planting the higher taste leaves no empty space for the lower nature to occupy. So without planting the bhakti tree, the old weeds will again crop up. That is why bhakti doesn't say you stop thinking. Bhakti says think of Krishna. The mind must attach. That's why in 7.1 Krishna says, Maya Sakta Manapartavas, he says that you have to make a special effort to study the scriptures, chant the holy name, render seva, and gradually the attraction and affection and attachment for the Lord has to develop. Mind must attach somewhere. Yesterday I was hearing a lecture of Prabhupada. So he was telling how in this world, it's not that attachment is a new concept. Everybody knows. Like Rupa Goswami gives the example of a young girl attracted to a young boy or a young boy attracted to a young girl. There is a spontaneous attraction in that age of life. Similarly, he says, may my mind be attached to you like that. Like that he says. He says, Yuvati nam yata yoni yunam yuvatav yata mano piramati tadvan mano me navatam tvai. Like that he says. Let my mind become attached to you, Krishna. Just like a young boy or a girl, when they see there is a attraction, they may not speak it outside, but in the mind people keep it. There is a fascination is there. So it is, and this has no other reason. There is no hetu in that. There is love in the heart, but the love is misdirected in this world. But if that love is uplifted towards Krishna, then the devotee becomes a bhakta devotee. So when we talk about yuj means connect, yoga means redirection, not suppression. Some people develop hatred thinking that I am repeatedly failing. Don't try to crush the mind. Be patient. Like I was giving the example of a mother bringing the child back, isn't it? So one has to be patient in dealing with the mind. So there are 5 ways to deal with the mind. I will just say 1 or 2 lines about each. One is to cajole the mind. Vajahure mana Srinandanandana Avaya Charanara Vindare Durlava Manava Janama Satsange Tarahoye Bhava Sindhu. Oh my dear mind, you are a human form of life now. Do not waste it. And if you waste this life now, another million lives you have to rotate. So take advantage by hearing, by chanting, by living with devotees and eating prasad and leading a pure life. So it's like cajoling the mind. Vajago Remana, Srinadanandan. Oh my dear mind, please take shelter. So you can cajole the mind just like mother cajoles a child. Beta, so jao beta. मुझे भी सोने दो तुम भी सो जाओ तंग मत करो sometimes she please the child, correct, no? So one can cajole the mind. Another thing is Bhaktivedanta Thakur says slap the mind or whip the mind with chapal, pat, hit him. How do you hit? Instead of 16 rounds, chant 32 rounds, or 64 rounds on Ekadashi days. If mind is giving too much trouble, then too much chanting you should do. And that is the most difficult thing because we are not ready. When somebody is chanting more, you won't sit with them, you can chant. Adhik Mas is coming now, 17th, isn't it? So Adhik Mas, you can chant Adhik rounds. Correct, no? So by chanting, anybody who feels difficulty with the mind, they can beat the mind. Thirdly, our Srila Prabhupada said, how to deal with the mind? Ignore the mind. He said, like a monkey. Monkey is naughty. You take your face away from the naughty monkey, and the monkey will keep quiet. But if you are going to pay attention to your naughty child also, you will see the child will do more naughty things. Like I have seen with my eyes, one boy was, having this metallic thing. Tick, 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 tick sound comes, Tick, 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 tick. When grandfather was disturbed, he told, hey, don't make noise. Then from there he goes this side and here he makes noise. He keeps disturbing and he's laughing. The grandfather is getting irritated. So therefore, don't show your irritation, just ignore. Then he'll go away. The Prabhupada says, chant with the mouth and hear with the ear. What is the question of worrying about anything else? Just chant and hear, he said. Ignore the mind. Mind is coming with some proposals, you say, get lost, not now. Ignore the mind. So, that's Prabhupada's method. And Haridas Thakur's method is fourth one. When the mind comes up with proposals for sense gratification, you can say, stand at the door, don't come in. Because right now I am doing one activity of chanting. After I complete my chanting, then I will attend to you. That's what he told the prostitute. So that is Haridas Thakur formula. Correct now? So, sometimes you are doing a very important work. Some guest also comes. What do? You tell the guest to put on hold. Pause button. You put. That is Haridas Thakur's formula is pause button. And then we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur. He also talks about preaching to the mind. Chant Hare Krishna Nam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandena Hare Krishna Nam Hari Bole Mano Prana Kandena. So he is saying, oh my dear mind, why are you not happy to chant now? Will you chant only after you are put on a stretcher, and taken to the graveyard to be burned? At that time, your tongue will not be able to move. You will be dead. It will be too late. Now, when you are alive, why don't you chant the holy name? At that time, you won't chant. Somebody else will say, Ram Nam Satya Hai. Right now, you can chant. So, why don't you chant? He is also talking about cajoling to the mind, preaching to the mind. He is also talking about that. Then, there are also acharyas who say, when mind is very much troubling, one should actually pray to Lord to relieve the mind, to relieve oneself from the menace of the mind. Like there are songs. This prayer I was telling, Bhavod Bhava Klesha Shatahata. He is not talking to mind. He's telling mind is rascal, is cheater. So he has kicked away the mind and now he's praying to Lord, mighty Lord, that fellow is creating trouble. You handle him. Sometimes if somebody is creating too much trouble, you don't handle. What do? You hand them over to somebody. So that is another method. You hand them over to Krishna and then you tell him that this is the situation of my mind. You handle it. You are capable. To one pagal mind you can handle. You are handling the whole millions of universes. That is the best way, Sharanagati. So there are songs also where one is praying to Lord for shelter, like Gopinath, Gopinath, Mama Nivedana Shruno, Mama Nivedana Shruno, Vishaye Durjana, Sada Kamarata, Kichunagi Mora Guna, Kichunagi Mora Guna. So in this type of songs, where you pray to Lord and tell Him, you handle my foolish mind. So in this way, so the material desires are uprooted, but no spiritual attachment is planted. The weeds of desire will simply grow back. That is dry renunciation. On the other hand, you see, bhakti is positive engagement. We fill the plot with kirtana. Like, you not only cut the weeds, you uproot the weeds and throw them away. Make sure that in the sand, no other remnants of the weeds are there. Remove everything. And then you fill it up with, new plants, bhakti plants. Kirtana, service, deity worship. So weeds have no room to grow. That is spiritual occupation. Yoga means redirection, not suppression. Do not hate yourself or become depressed when the mind wanders. So the Acharya has given us various methods. Process is patient redirection. See, Mother Yashoda has to catch Krishna, make sure he doesn't become naughty. Like that. You see? This is the paradigm shift. Instead of remove thoughts, you fill up your mind with spiritual thoughts. Hear and chant about Krishna. Instead of control and withdraw, you serve and love. Instead of mechanical yoga, gradual and difficult, Bhakti yoga is natural and joyful. And instead of emptying the mind, you purify the mind. Correct, no? So this is more, Bhakti yoga is more possible, more powerful. And it's a positive substitute to the negative activities. Actually, we are not just negating the negative, we are engaging in the positive. So, but if we don't render loving service, then we will have to mechanically try to control the mind. Idle mind's mind is a devil's workshop. But if you're serving, you're busily distributing books, you're busily engaged in seva, then Krishna will awaken that love in our heart. And mechanical yoga is very gradual and takes long time, many, many years, thousands of years people practice. Whereas bhakti is very natural and joyful, even for children. What do you speak about this? You see? Think of Krishna, engage in deep hearing, natural, joyful oneness. It's like giving a bird a home, whereas holding a wild bird tightly. You see the difference? Like tying the animal with ropes, I was telling you, correct? This I told you already. See, mechanical yoga is like holding a restless bird tightly in your fist and it's screaming, see? Whereas bhakti yoga is giving the bird a beautiful home where it willingly stays. The mind stays where it finds higher happiness. How isn't it? How the hippies became happy is, first thing Prabhupada gave them nice prasad, correct? No? Gulab jamun and all the, Indian cuisine. When they ate the prasad, that was attractive. Then the kirtan was attractive. Dancing was even more attractive. Then a challenge to go out and distribute books and expanding the movement far and wide. Prabhupada gave them a purpose. He said, you guys have to deliver the whole world. You have to go around. And Prabhupada said, you are the white elephants. I want to take you to India and expand preaching in India. So if we give challenges and adventure to youngsters, many of them take up. And you will see that it's very easy for one to be fixed up in the path of bhakti, rather than just artificially control the bird, isn't it? You see? How do we stabilize consciousness? Attentive japa, by bringing the mind back repeatedly. Meaningful seva, spiritual nourishment. Regulated sadhana, proper sleep, diet and association. And daily shravanam, reading spiritual thought pattern. These are some very simple and easy ways to design a regulated system in our body, mind and soul. See, the below one is Yuktahara Viharasya, correct, no? regulated sadhana. The top one is attentive japa. So hearing and chanting should also go on one side, meaningful seva on the other side. Because if we keep on hearing lectures, we don't do seva, then it is like eating food and not digesting the food. So we digest the food when we do seva, physically also. In the same manner, no realization without service. My Guru Maharaj spoke one lecture on that. So daily shravana and meaningful seva, attentive japa. And so an uncontrolled lifestyle creates an uncontrolled mind by actively replacing chaotic inputs with pure, intentional spiritual engagement. The lower taste naturally starves. So we have to starve the lower nature. Yeah. See, this is by Rupa Goswami. He says, what is the secret of spontaneous remembrance? He says, a businessman constantly remembers money by counting money again and again. A mother naturally remembers her child. Why? Because of attachment. Businessman has attachment to money, and a mother has attachment to child. Similarly, when affection for Krishna develops, remembrance is no longer forced, it becomes spontaneous. And that attachment actually will come as a gift when one renders service, one chants the holy name, one shows sincerity, one attracts blessings of Vaishnavas. Then that attraction will develop. Yeah, like a mother remembers a child, devotion remembers Krishna. The devotee remembers Krishna through developed love. It's no longer forced. Okay? See, 5 daily practices to protect your consciousness. This is what is one new one added here? Attentive chanting, daily hearing, regulated life, and higher taste, increased seva, and meaningful sambandha, priti lakshana, and guard the thoughts. That is, guarding the thought is not to go in the downward spiral. So that is added here. Yeah. Not only seva should be done with priti lakshanam, with other devotees. Yeah. So this is more inclusive than the previous one. Yeah. Attentive chanting, daily hearing, regulated life, higher taste. And higher taste means seva with sambandha, devotees. Then God will pass. This is what Krishna says, last verse of the 6th chapter. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yukta tamo matah. The perfection of yoga is not just controlling mind, but awakening devotion to Krishna. So spiritual failure is not falling down or becoming distracted. It is refusing to return. So that means, somebody is fallen and says, I am fallen. No, get up and again try, make your effort. Bring the mind back to Krishna again and again. This effort is very pleasing to Krishna. Just like you heard the story of that small sparrow. She lost her eggs to the ocean. But she challenged the ocean. She said, if you don't give my eggs, I'm going to dry you up. With her small beaks, she was taking few drops of water and throwing and coming. But then Garuda took notice of her determination. Then Garuda came and told the ocean, give back the eggs. And she got the eggs back. Similarly, we cannot dry up Maya. Maya is Krishna's energy. We are too tiny to dry up Maya. But if Krishna sees that these devotees are working for my pleasure, endeavoring, then he will send Garuda like Prabhupada, who will come and get our Krishna consciousness back. Yeah. See, the perfection of yoga is not merely controlling the mind with an iron fist. Perfection of yoga is offering the mind lovingly to Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Kunj Bihari ki, Shri Shri Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. Thank you very much. Very late now, it's 9:36. I will not take any questions today.